What's up, guys? JY here. We have Alice over here and Kylie as well. We're going to be kind of talking about how we have been thriving through this whole epidemic. Is that what it is? Epidemic? Pandemic.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about how we're thriving through this by being led by God in our spiritual disciplines. So we're going to kind of dive right in with that topic right now. So Alice, how have you been using your spiritual disciplines to help you thrive through this situation?
That's a great question. I would say because I've been at home a lot during the pandemic, it just has given me more time to pray, and being cooped up inside, just taking the opportunity to think about what I'm thankful for during this time. So yeah, just increasing my prayer life.
Good. All right, what about you, Kylie?
Making connections between the different things that I'm reading. I like to have, I'm always reading a book, or I'm doing this devotion and reading this, for Christian Challenge or reading. And so I've always got multiple things going. And just having this extra time on my hands is really giving me the opportunity to kind of draw those connections across and see kind of what the broader picture of what God is teaching me.
Nice. I've been kind of doing a mixture of things, not a whole lot of reading. I'm not a big reader. But I've been doing a lot of, my prayer life has definitely ramped up, and I think just kind of like trying to see a holistic picture through this whole thing of why this is happening, and understanding that God's in control of it all, and that, we should not be freaking out. Just being calm and understanding that God already knew this was going to happen, and so that this is something that we knew that was going to happen, and so, or He knew that was going to happen, and so we just need to just stick with it and rely on Him and just keep falling back on Him. I think just having Scripture to back that up and being constant prayer just helps, keep me sane through this as a spiritual, path or journey through this. So that's kind of where I'm at. What about like connections with human beings, other humans? How has that helped you through this, Kylie?
I've tried to have conversations with people, phone conversations or Zoom conversations. Just my life group has been meeting. We meet Monday nights, and so we've been doing Zoom, and that's been really helpful. I don't know. I think that's one of the things that it's easy to, not be intentional. At least for me, when life is normal. But in the midst of this, I've found that I have to be really intentional in reaching out and making those connections. So I don't know. I can see the way that it would even benefit relationships, just because that intentionality is how you do it.
Definitely.
But,
Yeah, good. What about you, Alice?
Yeah, so being at home a lot, and my roommate also is confined to my house. So we've just been going on a lot of walks together and just talking about church and what we're learning. And so she definitely keeps me sane during this time. But also having a lot of Zoom meetings with others, as well as FaceTiming friends, and of course sending memes, because that's how I typically communicate with others. So just keeping up that normal communication. And making sure to pray for those individuals as well, I think has helped my relationships.
Yeah, I think for me, just getting out and doing stuff with people is huge for me. I used to kind of think of myself as an introvert, but I find myself wanting to go out and hang out with people. Well, obviously we're not supposed to, or we can't. So, go out on walks. We can still keep that distance. Or I've been playing a little disc golf with some friends, trying not to touch the baskets a whole lot. And sometimes I got to have that peace, and I go golfing by myself or with a friend. Obviously you can't golf now with anybody that's not in your household, so it has to be by myself. But golfing's been a good release of that. But as far as connections with people, I think just going out and finding something to do outside, so I'm not cooped up in a house, or even just playing video games online with my brother and other friends as well. So that just kind of keeps me sane through this, with still understanding there are other humans out there. I can't just be in my cocoon here. What about, so I kind of touched on a few of those for myself, but what about hobbies? What hobbies have you been doing to just keep you busy and help keep your mind busy, Alice?
Yeah. So speaking about memes, I saw something, and it was saying after we get done with this pandemic, we're either going to be super fit or gain 20 pounds. And right now I'm going towards the gain 20 pounds. Natalie, my roommate, and I have been like baking a whole bunch and just making meals probably like every other night. So that's one of our hobbies. We also like to play like board games together, go on walks, and reading. I'm trying to think of just yard work, but that's not really a hobby. It's just something to do.
It's a chore.
Yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
I walk a lot. I like to go down to Campus Woods and just put my feet in the river, I will literally walk from my house. I live behind El Rito, so I walk all the way from my house to Campus Woods, put my feet in the river for 30 seconds, and then walk home. I don't know. But I also enjoy reading, and I do a lot with music, so I'm always messing around with my guitar, my piano, or keyboard, I guess. I also tried my hand at soap making, which was a new thing. It's still curing. I don't know if that's what it's called for soap, curing. I don't know. But fermenting. I don't know. But that's something that I tried as well. It's just something that I've wanted to do but haven't been able to do. But I don't know. I have time now.
You can make your own hand sanitizer.
I could do that. I could do that. Put that next on the list.
My hobbies, I mean, I kind of talked about that. I went disc golfing and just regular golf. Video games, I mean, I already kind of touched on that. Just peace, being at peace and listening to music as well. I mean, music is a big thing for me. Just being able to just relax and listen to music. Watching movies. I'll kind of mentioned all mine already, but that's definitely helped keep my head on a swivel, or head, on my body for sure, not losing my mind. Those hobbies are big. What about like the overall structure of your daily lives? Like, how has that kind of, kept you, just kind of in line and in tune with yourself, Alice? That guy directed.
Yeah, it's very directed. I've just kept the same like morning routine for work, even though I'm working from home. Getting up about the same time, doing the same stuff there, and then like we have 2 breaks during the day. So during that time, I have like made myself get out of the house, like whether it's just to go sit in the sunshine or whatnot. And then of course, gotta have my morning coffee. Like that's just nice to have that routine. And then communicating with people during the day at work has been pretty normal, and we do like FaceTimes with that. I don't know, it's just stayed pretty similar even though I'm at home, so
you still have kind of those consistent things no matter what. It's good.
yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
I-
Structure.
None of the, 3 weeks, we're in the 3rd week of this, I guess. Not a single one of those weeks has been the same for me. So I had 1 week where I had nothing but time. And so that week, what I was really trying to do is pull things from my normal life schedule and just insert those into my very empty day. Like I would spend this amount of time just as a quiet time type of thing. And I'm not going to the gym. I don't know if the gym is still open or not, but I'm not that brave. But so just doing stuff at home that I can work out type of thing for a certain amount of time, and just pay that type of stuff throughout my day. Now I'm picking up hours at the country club again, and I mow grass, so like I'm not around people, so it's not a problem. But just finding those things, I don't know, having things I'm doing for a certain amount of time every single day that are part of what I consider normal for me, I guess.
This is probably the biggest thing I struggle with, is being a teacher, like that structure is in my everyday life. And so when I have all this, not necessarily free time, but I have all this time that's not designated to do something or to be somewhere, I'm just at home to work and stuff like that, that's a struggle of mine. So I'm not a very good worker from home, so I'm really struggling with that. Trying to develop that structure has been a process for sure. So hopefully this week we can get it rolling. Now that we're doing online schooling a little bit and just kind of doing that continued education, that's kind of helped. But even still, just being disciplined in my everyday things that I was doing, even when school was in, I need to stick to that I'm still waking up early doing my prayers and things like that, but I think in the evenings is where it gets kind of difficult, trying to find that time to, even just having quiet time or even just having time to wind down. Like I struggle just to put that somewhere, I guess, and place it in the right spot so it's not like, oh, do it here and then it doesn't benefit me later or whatever it might be. But structure is definitely tough for me, but sounds like we're thriving. I don't know about you guys. I think we're thriving.
Adjusting.
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 That's a good word.
Yeah.
I hope that some of these tips or some of these, I guess, experiences that we have shared is going to help somebody else. Just keep a sound mind, trust in God through all this, understand that He's in control, and, there ain't nothing that has passed that He didn't know was going to happen. So just be there with that, in confidence with that, and just trust in the Lord. Peace. All right, now you can stop.